Curry, rifle pass to Iguodala, and it's a 10-point lead. Van Vliet gets a wide open look, puts it in, Fred Van Vliet.
Everyone talks about superstars, but in the playoffs, stars get tired, defenses tighten, and that's when the bench decides everything. These are the second units that changed history. The ones that came in, turned games upside down, and swung entire championships. This is the most influential benches in NBA history. The 2014 Spurs didn't just beat the Heat, they destroyed a dynasty, and the bench was the reason. San Antonio's second unit led the NBA in bench scoring that year, and in the finals, they outscored Miami's bench by 60 points. Patty Mills dropped 17 in the closeout Game 5. Boris Diaw averaged 6 assists off the bench. Manu Ginobili was still dropping daggers at age 36. This wasn't just depth, it was chemistry. Everyone moved, everyone passed, nobody held the ball longer than a second. It was basketball perfection, and Miami couldn't keep up. The bench ran, spaced, and moved like a blur. They didn't just protect leads, they built them. And in the end, that trust turned into a 4-1 beatdown, powered by one of the greatest benches ever. Golden State's dynasty didn't start with Steph, it started with trust and a bench that could win games by itself. Andre Iguodala, Sean Livingston, Leandro Barbosa, and Festus Ezeli didn't just hold leads, they extended them. Iggy came off the bench for most of the year, then won Finals MVP. Livingston was the ultimate change-of-pace guard. He backed down smaller defenders, hit mid-range jumpers with ease, and never forced shots. Barbosa brought instant scoring, fast breaks, corner threes, heat check pull-ups. Festus protected the rim, rolled hard, and gave them verticality when Bogut sat. In the 2015 Finals, the Warriors' bench outscored the Cavs' second unit by 47 points. That wasn't depth, that was domination. This was the start of the strength in numbers identity. The idea that no one player carried the load, everyone had a role, and that role changed night to night. It's rare for a Finals MVP to be a bench player. It's even rarer for that bench player to become the difference in the series. But that was Iguodala, and that was this Warriors bench. They didn't just give Curry and Klay a breather, they gave the team versatility, stability, and edge. The 2015 Warriors weren't just built on shooting, they were built on balance. And that second unit, it made sure Golden State never broke. This team was known for the Big Three, but the soul of the 2008 Celtics was their bench. James Posey brought the edge, Eddie House brought the heat, Leon Powe brought the muscle, and Big Baby Davis brought the noise. Every time Boston needed momentum, Doc Rivers turned to this group. They weren't high-volume scorers, they were tone setters. Posey hit back-breaking threes and guarded wings. House could come in and score 10 points in 5 minutes without breaking rhythm. Poe, he played like every possession was life or death. In Game 2 of the Finals, Poe dropped 21 points in just 15 minutes. He bulldozed Pau Gasol, outworked the Lakers' bigs, and brought the crowd to its feet. That night was a message. Boston's depth had muscle. Their box scores didn't scream elite, but their impact was everywhere. The Celtics were a defensive juggernaut, and this bench kept that intensity at all times. What made them special? They embraced their roles. Nobody tried to do too much. When you win a title, every piece matters. This bench wasn't glamorous, it was grimy, but it showed up in the finals, and that's why Boston lifted the trophy. The 2019 Raptors didn't win with firepower, they won with depth, and a bench that never flinched. Toronto's second unit wasn't flashy, but it was surgical. Fred Van Vliet, Serge Ibaka, and Norman Powell rotated through the bench roles all postseason, and every time they were called, they delivered. Van Vliet went from cold to clutch overnight. After the birth of his son in the conference finals, he shot over 50% from three the rest of the way. In Game 6 of the finals, he dropped 22 points off the bench, including the dagger three that sealed the title. Ibaka was the muscle. He averaged 11 points, 5 boards, and 1.3 blocks in the finals, almost all coming in short bursts of dominance. In Game 4, he put up 20 points in 22 minutes, outplaying every Warriors big on the floor. Norman Powell stepped in with big shots during the Milwaukee series, including a 19-point outburst in Game 4 that saved the Raptors from going down 3-1. Golden State had the pedigree, but they were gassed, injured, top-heavy. Toronto didn't need 40 from Kawhi every night. They had a bench that gave them breathing room and brought their stars time to win the war. What made this group dangerous wasn't just talent, it was timing. Van Vliet peaked at the perfect moment. Ibaka punished mistakes. Powell gave them instant offense. The Raptors didn't have a dynasty, they had a window. And their bench made sure it stayed open long enough to win it all. No fans, no hype, just pure execution and bench magic. Andre Iguodala, Tyler Hero, Kelly Olynyk, and Jay Crowder walked into the bubble and left with energy. Hero's 37-point explosion against Boston? Instant legend. Iguodala changed the tone defensively. Only himself could hype the moment on national TV. Olynyk hit corner threes and stretched space. Crowder's defense shifted momentum with hustle and toughness. They didn't just fill roles, they carried playoff momentum. In the bubble playoffs, Miami's bench outscored opponents by an average of 15 points per game. Bam Adebayo struggled early in the finals, but this bench stabilized the ship and kept Miami close. Jimmy Butler was the heartbeat, but this crew kept the pulse steady. It looked like Miami might steal momentum after Game 2. Benches were fueling the fight. In Game 3, bench points flipped the script. In a finals against a veteran Lakers unit, the Heat bench nearly delivered a major upset. That's what bench ball looks like without noise or distraction. The 2011 Mavericks didn't win with athleticism. They won with experience and a bench that never panicked. Dallas was deep. Jason Terry, JJ Barea, Brendan Haywood, Coey Brewer, they didn't just hold the line, they tilted the finals. Jason Terry came off the bench and averaged 18 points per game in the finals. In Game 6, he dropped 27 on the Heat, more than LeBron. He hit dagger threes, ran late-game sets, and had the confidence of a superstar without ever starting. Then came Barea. He shredded defenses with pick and rolls and hesitation drives. His burst off the bench gave Miami's defense constant problems. Haywood brought size and rim protection when Chandler rested, and Corey Brewer gave them wing defense in short, high-energy bursts. This wasn't a young bench. They were vets. Carlisle trusted Terry over starters in crunch time. He put Barea in the starting lineup by Game 4 of the finals. What made them so dangerous? Terry could take over quarters. JJ Barea changed the pace and they punished Miami's rotations. This was one of the oldest benches to win a title and one of the most dangerous. Because while Miami was still figuring it out, Dallas had already been there. And their second unit made sure the Big Three never got a chance to recover. That title wasn't just Dirk's masterpiece, it was a bench clinic on how to win without flash. Just execution. Most championship teams lean on 8 to 9 guys. Not Denver. Their bench was short, but surgical. Bruce Brown, Jeff Green, and Christian Braun played every playoff minute like it was life or death. Bruce Brown was the engine. He guarded 1 through 4, ran the offense when Jamal sat, and closed games. 21 points in Game 4 of the finals. Jeff Green was the vet. He didn't stuff the box score, but he spaced the floor, switched on defense, and didn't make mistakes. Then there was rookie Christian Braun. Raw but fearless. In Game 3 of the finals, he exploded for 15 points on 7 of 8 shooting. That performance helped seal the most important win of the series. What made this bench different? They didn't need big minutes. They made the most of the 14 to 18 minutes they got. They kept the energy high and the execution clean. Bruce Brown was arguably the third best player in the finals, and he came off the bench. Christian Braun was the first rookie since Magic Johnson with 15-plus points on 85% shooting in a finals game. Jeff Green added maturity, defense, and calmness when the game got chaotic. The Nuggets didn't have a deep bench on paper, but they had 3 perfect fits. This wasn't a next man up story, it was next man delivers. And when the confetti fell in Denver, that 3-man bench deserved just as much credit as the stars. Not every legendary bench wins a ring. Some changed the game and still came up short. The 2002 Kings had Bobby Jackson, Keon Clark, and Hedo Turkoglu off the bench. They led the league in assists and ball movement, and still got robbed in that infamous Lakers series. The 2001 Sixers had Aaron McKie, the 6th man of the year, Tyrone Hill, and young Raja Bell. Iverson did the scoring, but the bench brought defense and grit. That team doesn't reach the finals without them. The 2023 Lakers had Rui Hachimura, Dennis Schroeder, and Austin Reeves all heating up during the playoffs. They beat Memphis, stunned the Warriors, then ran into Jokic. But that bench carried the offense at times. And the 2013 Pacers had a second unit that nearly knocked out LeBron's Heat. Sam Young, Ian Mahinmi, and a young Lance Stevenson brought pressure and energy off the pine. These benches never held the trophy, but they deserve their place in the conversation. Because sometimes, the best work comes in the shadows. Superstars win headlines, but benches win championships. Every title team on this list had one thing in common: trust. Coaches trusted their second unit. Starters trusted the next man in, and the bench delivered. Whether it was Manu burying Miami, Van Vliet saving Toronto, or Bruce Brown icing Game 4, these weren't role players, they were closers. Because the playoffs aren't about highlights, they're about depth, chemistry, and execution. And when the lights are brightest, sometimes the guy coming in off the bench becomes the one who finishes the job.